Lena Avers sat on the edge of her small bed, staring at her phone. The message had come just 10 minutes ago, but it still didn't make sense. It was from a private agency she'd never heard of, Novalink Elite Services, offering her 5,000 credits for a single evening. All she had to do was go on a date. A fake date, the message said. No commitment, no physical contact. Smile, talk, and follow instructions. It sounded strange, but Lena's rent was due. Her student loan payments were crushing her. And her part-time job at the Synth Coffee Bar barely covered groceries. The money they offered wasn't just helpful, it was life-changing. Still, it felt odd. She opened the agency's website. Everything looked professional. A gold and black logo, a clean design. Testimonials from smiling men and women in stylish outfits. The contact person, someone named Ray, had already sent her the details. She just had to show up at 6 p.m. at the Skydrop Tower, wear the provided dress, and act like she belonged. She stared at the clock. 4:45 p.m. Lena bit her lip. What's the worst that could happen? It's just a fake date. At exactly 6 p.m., Lena stepped out of a sleek private car at the entrance of Skydrop Tower. She wore a dark blue dress that shimmered faintly under the neon lights. It was unlike anything she had ever worn before, elegant, modern, and perfectly her size. Novalink had delivered it hours before, along with a small communication earpiece. The doorman smiled and opened the glass doors. Welcome, Miss Avers. He's waiting for you on the 125th floor. She stepped into the elevator, heart pounding. The ride was smooth, silent. As the floors climbed higher, the city lights stretched out below like a blanket of stars. When the doors opened, she entered a wide lounge bathed in soft blue light. No loud music. No crowds. Just one person standing near the giant glass window, looking out at the sky. He turned. The man was tall, dressed in a simple black suit that fit him like it was grown onto his body. His features were sharp, almost too perfect. Yet there was something familiar in his eyes, something strange and deep. Lena Avers, he said with a gentle smile. Thank you for coming. His voice was calm, not too low, not too loud. Every word seemed measured. Lena gave a small nod. You're my date? In a way, yes, he replied. You can call me Solon. Solon, she repeated. Interesting name. He gestured toward a round table set for two near the window. Shall we sit? Lena sat down, feeling nervous but curious. Everything about him was odd. His posture, his calmness, the way he looked at her, not like a stranger, but like someone who already knew her. The dinner began. Small dishes appeared on the table: synth seafood, fresh vegetables, glowing crystal fruit from the Mars colonies. Nothing too fancy, but all high class. So, Lena said, trying to make conversation, what do you do? I study time, Solon said with a strange smile. Like history? In a way, yes. But I also look ahead. Lena blinked. Ahead, you mean predicting the future? Something like that. His answers didn't help. They just raised more questions. He leaned slightly forward. Tell me, Lena, do you remember what you wanted to be as a child? She frowned. That's a strange question for a first date. Humor me, she shrugged. I wanted to be an explorer, travel the stars, discover alien ruins, that kind of thing. Solon nodded slowly. And what changed? She looked away. Life, debt, reality. There was silence for a moment. Then he spoke again. Do you believe in second chances? She glanced back at him, eyes narrowing slightly. You sound more like a philosopher than a date. He smiled softly. Maybe I'm both. After dinner, he invited her to walk with him on the sky terrace. The wind was cool, the stars above sharp and bright. From this height, the city looked peaceful. You know, Lena said, you ask strange questions. You talk like you know. Me, have we met before? He looked at her, his expression unreadable. In a way, yes. But not like this. She shook her head. That doesn't make sense. Solon stopped and faced her. You are important, Lena. Much more than you think. Lena laughed lightly. I think you've mistaken me for someone else, and just me. That's exactly why you matter. An hour later, he escorted her back to the elevator. The date was over. He thanked her with a small bow formal, almost ancient, and stepped away. As the elevator doors closed, Lena leaned back, trying to make sense of the evening. Who was he? Why did he seem so familiar? And why did she feel like he knew her better than she knew herself? Back at her apartment, Lena opened her tablet and checked her photos. There was nothing. Not a single image from the evening, the building, the dinner, even the dress. None of it appeared in her smart lens history. It was like the night had never happened. She frowned and tried to contact Novolink. The site was gone. The message history on her phone vanished. The credits had been transferred to her account, but there was no trace of who sent them. Her heart pounded. What kind of fake date was that? She whispered. Outside her window, a small drone hovered briefly, then zipped away into the night sky. Lena didn't know it yet, but her ordinary life was over, and the mysterious stranger was only the beginning. Lena couldn't sleep. She lay awake in the dark, staring at the ceiling of her tiny apartment. The night before had felt like a dream, a strange, expensive, and mysterious dream. But her bank account said it was real. 5,000 credits sat right there, transferred exactly at midnight. Still, her smart lens photos were gone. No memories recorded. No data from the tower, the food, or even the car ride home. She hadn't deleted anything. It had been wiped perfectly, professionally. That kind of data removal wasn't easy. Or cheap. Who are you, Solon? She whispered to the dark. The next morning, Lena went to work at the synth coffee shop as usual. The place smelled like fake chocolate and recycled air. Robots made most of the drinks. Humans just handled orders and smiled at customers. Lena wasn't great at the smiling part today. Hey, her coworker Jen said, you okay? You look like you saw a ghost. Not a ghost, Lena replied. Just someone strange. Jen raised an eyebrow. A date? Lena nodded slowly. Yeah, a fake one. Jen laughed. That sounds shady. It was, but it paid well. Jen leaned closer. So who was the guy? Handsome? Lena hesitated. Yes, but weird. He asked about my childhood, my dreams, then disappeared. Creepy, Jen said. I don't know. He didn't feel dangerous. Just wrong. Like he didn't belong. Before Jen could reply, Lena's earpiece buzzed. Unknown caller. She stepped into the back room and answered. Hello? A familiar voice spoke, calm, gentle. Lena, we need to talk. Her heart skipped. Solon? Yes, please meet me. It's important. Where? You'll find me. Follow the bird. The line cut off. Lena stared at her earpiece. Follow the bird? She walked back into the shop, confused, and then she saw it. A small silver bird, mechanical, smooth, and glowing. Faintly was sitting on the window outside the cafe. It blinked at her, then flew off. Without thinking, Lena grabbed her coat and left. The bird led her through crowded streets, across a maglev platform, and down an alley filled with colorful lights. It stopped in front of an old, forgotten building. The sign above was half broken. Astrotech Research closed. The front door slid open. Lena stepped inside. The room was dusty, filled with old computers and broken chairs. Then she saw him, Solon, standing near a glowing table screen, watching data scroll. I knew you'd come, he said. Lena folded her arms. This better be a good explanation. Who are you? What was that date really about? Solon turned and looked at her, his face calm but serious. You asked me who I am. The truth is, enough from this time, Lena frowned. What does that mean? I'm from Earth's future, she blinked. You're kidding. I'm not. I was created hundreds of years from now. I came back with a mission. That date wasn't random. It was a test to see if you're ready. Ready for what? For the truth. For the future. For who you really are. Lena's breath caught in her throat. You're talking like you know me. I do, he said softly. Because I'm part of you. She stared at him. What? Solon walked closer. In the future, humanity is on the edge of extinction. The stars we settled are dying. Our technology is failing. But before the collapse, there was one hope, an explorer named Lena Avers, you. Lena shook her head. I've never been off-world. Not yet. But you will. Your future self left a message, encoded into a time capsule. The message told us to find you, the original you. And I was created from that message, from your DNA and your memories. Lena felt dizzy. You're saying, you're me? In a way, yes. A future version. Not perfect. Just a copy, but close enough to carry your knowledge back. She backed away slowly. That's crazy. It sounds that way, he agreed. But everything you saw, the missing photos, the agency, the vanishing data, it's all real. I've been watching, waiting for the right moment. Why now? Because time is short. A great disaster is coming. Only you can stop it. Lena laughed nervously. Me, I'm just a barista with too much debt. Not for long, Solon said. Your memories hold the key. Hidden deep inside your mind are coordinates left there by your future self. They lead to something powerful. Something lost. We need to find it before the wrong people do. Lena looked down at her hands. They were shaking. This is too much, she whispered. Why me? Why not someone stronger, smarter? Because you were the one who risked everything once. Solon said gently, you can do it again. Lena sat down on an old chair, trying to breathe. Her heart raced. Her head spun. This wasn't just a fake date anymore, Dot. This was her destiny. I don't even know where to begin, she said. Solon sat beside her. Then let's begin together. Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered. A warning alert blinked red on the screen. Someone's coming, Solon said. They found us. Who? Lena asked, standing up. The agency, he replied. They're not just matchmakers, they're watchers. They monitor the timeline. You mean they knew about you? They know everything. And they want to erase us before we change anything. Lena took a deep breath. Then we run? We don't just run, Solon said, pulling out a small device. We fly. He pressed a button, and a section of the wall slid open, revealing a sleek, compact spacecraft hidden behind it. You had a ship this whole time? I was hoping I wouldn't need it, he said. But now there's no other way. Lena looked at the ship, then at him. Okay, she said, I'm in. As they climbed into the cockpit, Lena felt something stir inside her. A feeling she hadn't felt in years. Adventure, purpose, maybe even hope. As the ship lifted off, disappearing into the night sky, Lena whispered to herself, so this is how it begins. And somewhere deep in her memory, something awoke. The ship moved silently through the upper layers of Earth's atmosphere. From the cockpit, Lena watched the stars stretch across the darkness like glowing dust. The blue planet below was slowly fading from view, and the silence of space began to settle in. Lena had never imagined she'd leave Earth. Not like this. Not running. Not in a ship with a man who claimed to be her future self. She sat in the co-pilot seat, glancing at Solon as he adjusted the controls. Where are we going? She asked quietly. To a hidden station just outside Mars, Solon replied. Safe, quiet. It was set up by your future self. Lena leaned back. This still feels like a dream. It will feel more real soon, Solon said. Once you remember, she looked at him. What exactly do I need to remember? You keep saying I'm important, that I left some kind of message in time, but I don't feel special. Solon turned toward her. His eyes were calm, but serious. Lena, in the future, the universe is collapsing. Our colonies are dying. The stars are breaking down faster than we expected. But before everything fell, your future self discovered something incredible. Lena raised an eyebrow. What? An ancient alien vault, hidden far beyond our known systems. Inside it was technology far beyond anything we've ever seen. Enough to change everything, heal stars, grow life, repair time itself. Lena blinked. That sounds impossible. I saw it, Solon said. You saw it. But before you could unlock all of it, something happened. You vanished. No one knew why or where you went. But you left behind one final clue, a piece of your memory, broken into parts and stored in your younger self. Lena pointed to herself. You mean me? Yes, Solon nodded. The original Lena. You are the only one who can access those memories. They're hidden too deep for any scan or machine. Lena felt cold. So you're telling me the entire future depends on what's in my head? Not just your head, Solon said gently. Your heart. Your choices. She looked out at the stars again. It felt like too much. She had never finished her engineering degree. She had given up on her dreams years ago. And now someone was telling her that she had once saved the future. How can I unlock these memories? She asked finally. We'll use the station near Mars. It has a neural chamber safe, designed to help you remember without damage. But it won't be easy. Lena sighed. Of course not. 3 hours later, the ship arrived at the station. It was small and hidden inside the shadow of a dead asteroid. The docking system responded to Solon's ID instantly, and the ship entered a long, narrow hangar. The inside of the station was quiet, almost too quiet. Dim lights lined the hallway. There were no robots, no crew. Just empty space and cold silence. Solon guided her through the corridor until they reached a round door with a glowing panel. This is the memory room, he said. Once you go inside, the system will scan your mind and help bring buried memories forward. Will it hurt? She asked. A little, he admitted. But the pain means it's working. Lena took a deep breath. Okay, let's do it. Inside, the chamber looked like a floating dream. Soft lights hovered above, and the walls shimmered with energy. At the center was a chair that looked more like a cocoon. Lena sat down, and the chair gently closed around her. Relax, Solon's voice said through a speaker. Let your mind wander. Let it return. Lena closed her eyes. At first, there was nothing. Then, images. A girl running under a sky full of stars. A silver book in her hand. A secret door in the mountains. A glowing room filled with symbols she had never seen before. A voice echoed. Only you can finish what we started. Then another image, a planet with green rings. A vault built into its heart. A star collapsing in the background. Suddenly, Lena gasped, her heart raced. Her hands clenched the chair. The memory came like a wave. She saw herself older, stronger, standing before a group of people in futuristic suits. She was giving a warning. I'm hiding the coordinates inside myself, the older Lena said. If I fail, you must find me in the past. The memory ended with a sharp sound. Lena opened her eyes. Shaking, I remember, she whispered. Solon opened the chamber and helped her up. What did you see? I saw the vault, she said, her voice weak, and ... I saw me, older. She said she hid the coordinates inside me. Solon nodded. Then it worked. There's a planet, Lena continued, with green rings. I saw the vault built inside it. I think I can draw the map. Solon handed her a digital pad. Lena's hands moved on their own, drawing the exact star system, the orbit, the vault's position. It was buried inside a moon that orbited the planet like a guardian. This is it, she said, pointing. This is where we have to go. Solon looked at the map. You did it. Lena stared at him. So what now? Now we go to the vault, he said, before the others find it. Others? Solon's face grew darker. Time agents from the agency. They don't want the future to change. They think preserving the timeline is more important than saving humanity. If they reach the vault first, they'll destroy it. Lena felt anger rise inside her. Then we can't let that happen. Solon smiled. Now you sound like your future self. Lena stood tall. She didn't feel weak anymore. She didn't feel like a nobody stuck in debt. She felt like someone with purpose, someone who mattered. Let's go, she said. And with that, they launched toward the stars toward the lost vault of knowledge and the battle for the future of humanity. The stars shimmered like cold fire as Solon's ship jumped into faster-than-light travel. The soft hum of the engines echoed in the background while Lena stared at the glowing map on the screen in front of her. The vault, the place her future self had found, was located on a distant moon orbiting the green-ringed planet called Vera 6. According to the data, the moon had no atmosphere, no cities, no signs of life. It was empty, forgotten. But deep inside it, something ancient waited. Vera 6, Lena said softly. How far? 22 hours at maximum speed, Solon replied. But we have to stay low. If the time agents are tracking us, they'll be close, Lena nodded. Why are they trying to stop us? Don't they want to save the future too? Solon looked at her for a moment. Their goal is to protect the timeline exactly as it is. No changes. Even if that means letting humanity fall, Lena frowned. That's heartless. To them, the collapse is part of history. They think trying to fix it is dangerous. One small change could cause a chain reaction, but doing nothing is worse, Lena said. If we have a chance to fix things, we should try. Solon smiled. That's exactly what your future self believed. As the hours passed, Lena spent time in the training room of the ship. It was small but filled with advanced tools, scanners, memory simulators, data puzzles. Solon told her that some of these were based on alien tech recovered during her old expeditions. She trained with the tools, slowly unlocking more pieces of her mind. More memories returned. One memory showed her standing in a strange temple built from stone and glowing crystal. She spoke an alien language fluently. Another memory revealed her standing on the bridge of a ship, giving commands to a crew of scientists and explorers. Every new memory made her stronger and more curious. How did I do all this? She asked Solon after a long session. You were brave, he said. You left Earth at 23. You volunteered for a deep space mission no one else wanted. You learned fast, you adapted, you survived. Lena smiled faintly. I don't feel like that person yet. You're becoming her, Solon replied, step by step. Near the end of their journey, Solon pulled Lena aside. He looked more serious than usual. There's something else you need to know, he said. She nodded. Okay, tell me. There's a lock inside the vault, he explained. It's not physical. It's mental, like a code that only you can unlock. Your future self built it that way. A test? Yes, Solon said. And it's more than just memory. You'll have to face a part of your past, something you've forgotten or avoided. Lena frowned. What kind of past? You'll see, he said quietly. But be ready. The vault will only open to the real Lena Avers, not someone pretending to be her. Finally, the ship slowed as it approached Vera 6. The green rings of the gas giant shone bright in the distance. The moon itself looked cold and lifeless, covered in gray dust and sharp cliffs. The vault was hidden inside one of those cliffs. Solon landed the ship near a jagged canyon. The coordinates from Lena's memory matched exactly. They both suited up in light armor and breathing gear, then stepped out onto the moon's surface. The air was still, The ground was dry. Every step crunched softly beneath their boots. This place feels old, Lena said. Like no one's been here in 1,000 years. Maybe longer, Solon replied. Let's find the entrance. It took them 15 minutes to reach a giant stone wall built into the cliff. It was covered in glowing lines, alien symbols that changed color when Lena touched them. Suddenly, a doorway appeared. They entered a dark tunnel lit only by thin blue lights along the floor. As they moved deeper, the walls began to hum softly. It wasn't a scary sound, more like something waking up. Then they reached a chamber. It was round, wide, and filled with light. At the center stood a large crystal pedestal surrounded by floating symbols. This is it, Solon said. The Vault of Echoes. Lena walked toward the pedestal. As she did, a circle of light formed around her. The air shimmered. The symbols floated closer and wrapped around her. Suddenly, a voice echoed in the chamber. Lena Avers, identity detected. Prepare for memory sequence. Lena froze. It knows me. It is you, Solon said softly. Built from your own mind. The voice continued. Access requires emotional confirmation. Begin test. Before Lena could ask what that meant, the world around her changed. She stood in her childhood home. It was raining outside. The window showed dark clouds and lightning in the distance. She saw herself 10 years old, sitting on the floor with a broken model spaceship in her hands. Her father's voice echoed in the room, sharp and angry. Stop wasting time on dreams. You'll never leave this planet. Grow up. Young Lena looked up, eyes full of tears. Lena, the adult, watched, frozen. Then the voice from the vault returned. This is your moment of doubt, your fear, your wound. Do you still believe in the stars? Lena felt pain rise in her chest. That day had changed everything. She had stopped talking about space after that. She had given up, but now she remembered who she had become. What she had done. What she was about to do again. She stepped forward. Yes, she said out loud. I still believe. The vision faded. She was back in the vault. The lights around her grew brighter. The pedestal opened slowly, revealing a sphere of glowing blue metal. The key, Solon whispered. Lena took the sphere in her hands. It's beautiful, she said. It's powerful, Solon replied. And now we have a chance. Suddenly, alarms blared inside the vault. Red lights flashed. A voice screamed through the air. Intrusion detected. Hostile life forms approaching. Solon looked at her. Time agents. Lena tightened her grip on the sphere. Then we protect it. And as they prepared for what was coming, Lena knew this was no longer just about her past. This was a fight for the future. Red lights blinked in the corners of the ancient vault. The soft, calm light that once filled the chamber had now turned sharp and warning. The air vibrated with a deep hum, like the vault itself was aware of the danger approaching. Lena stood at the center of the room, holding the glowing blue sphere. The warmth from it pulsed gently in her hands, like a heartbeat. It was powerful, alive, ancient. They found us, Solon said, looking at the blinking screen on his wrist. 2 ships. Stealth class. They'll land within 5 minutes. Time. Agents? Lena asked, tightening her grip on the sphere. Solon nodded. Yes, and they won't talk first. They'll erase us before asking questions. Lena looked at the crystal walls around her. Can we defend the vault? Not for long. The vault has defensive systems, but it wasn't designed for combat. We need to get the key out. She nodded quickly. Then let's go. We can escape. Back to the ship. But before they could move, the floor beneath them rumbled. Lena looked down. What's happening now? Solon stared at the sphere. You activated the second protocol. What does that mean? The floor opened slowly, revealing a staircase made of glowing steps. Solon's eyes widened. There's more. A lower level. Should we go? He hesitated. It's risky, but we might find something useful. Lena didn't wait. She started down the stairs. The sphere lit her path, reacting to her touch, almost like it recognized her completely now. Solon followed close behind. The lower level of the vault was larger and colder. Strange machines lined the walls, humming with quiet energy. At the center of the room stood a tall structure, a vertical column with spinning rings of light and ancient symbols circling it. What is this place? Lena whispered. Solon approached the column, a memory core. Maybe even a message center. Your future self mentioned it once before she disappeared. Lena placed the sphere in a slot at the base of the column. The rings stopped spinning. A beam of light shot upward, and a figure appeared. It was her. Older, stronger, wearing a white explorer suit with scars on her face and gray in her hair. Her voice echoed through the chamber. If you're hearing this, then I failed to return, but it means you've come far enough to continue my work. The vault is only the beginning. Lena stepped closer, holding her breath. The sphere you hold contains the blueprint to restart failing stars. But more importantly, it holds the hope of survival for humanity. You must take it to the origin beacon on the edge of the void belt. Only there can the signal be sent. Solon watched silently. The message continued. Time agents may try to stop you. They believe history must not change. But history is not truth. It is choice. You are my last choice, Lena. Don't give up now. The figure faded. The rings began to spin again. Lena stepped back, eyes wide. Solon placed a hand on her shoulder. She believed in you. Lena took the sphere from the column and turned toward the stairs. Then let's prove her right. As they climbed back up, the red lights flashed faster. The warning system spoke again. Hostiles have entered outer chamber. We're out of time, Solon said, drawing a compact energy weapon from his side. Lena stared at him. You have a weapon? I hoped we wouldn't need it, he replied. Stay behind me. They moved quickly through the hallway, passing the glowing symbols and the wide stone doors. As they entered the outer vault, they saw the agents, 3 of them, dressed in black suits with shimmering helmets. Each one held a weapon that crackled with white energy. Stop! One of the agents shouted. Put down the artifact. Lena stayed still, holding the sphere behind her. Solon raised his weapon. We don't want to fight. You've already broken temporal law, the agent said. That key belongs to the Time Preservation Council. No, Lena said firmly. It belongs to everyone who still has a chance to live. You don't understand the risks, another agent said. If you activate that signal, it could cause timeline collapse. Solon stepped forward. Then let it collapse. Because the timeline you're protecting is already dying. The agents opened fire. Bolts of energy shot through the air. Solon pulled Lena behind a stone pillar and returned fire. The vault's walls absorbed most of the blasts, but cracks began to form. We can't stay here, Lena shouted. Solon nodded. Run for the ship, I'll hold them. No, she said. We go together. A second later, a hidden door opened behind them, another defense system responding to Lena's identity. A narrow escape tunnel appeared. This way. She yelled. They sprinted through the tunnel, energy blasts chasing them. The tunnel led upward and opened near the canyon where their ship was parked. As they reached the entrance, Solon quickly activated the remote landing system. The ship rose and hovered over them. The ramp dropped down. Go! Solon shouted. They jumped inside. Just as a blast hit the edge of the ramp, Lena fell hard onto the floor, holding the sphere tight. Solon slammed the door button, and the ship sealed with a hiss. Engines online, the ship's voice said. Take off. Solon commanded. The ship launched into the air, fire and dust spinning behind it. From the window, Lena saw the agents trying to follow, but it was too late. They were gone. Minutes later, safe above the moon, Lena sat quietly with the sphere in her lap. "Did we make it?" she asked. Solon nodded. "We did, but it's not over. Now we go to the origin beacon." Lena looked at the stars outside. "That's where we send the signal, right?" "Yes," he said. "It's hidden at the edge of the galaxy. Once we reach it, the blueprint inside the sphere can be sent across human space. Every colony will receive the data. Every system can be saved." Lena smiled, though she still felt the weight of everything. "Then we fly fast." Solon nodded. "Together." And as the ship jumped into hyperspace, Lena looked down at the sphere glowing in her hands. She was no longer just a girl who once dreamed of the stars. She was the hope of a dying future. The ship flew through hyperspace like a silver arrow, slicing through the silence between stars. Inside the control room, Lena stared at the sphere glowing gently in her hands. Its light was calm now, not pulsing like before. But Lena could feel the energy inside it, something powerful, something alive. They were close to their destination, the origin beacon, a mysterious tower located at the edge of the void belt, where no planets orbited and light from stars was faint and cold. Few ships ever traveled that far. It was the last known place where ancient humanity once sent messages across galaxies. Lena looked at Solon. He stood silently at the navigation panel, checking their course. "Do you think the signal will still work?" she asked. Solon nodded. "Yes, the origin beacon was built to last for 10,000 years. It may be damaged, but it will still listen. Once we upload the sphere's blueprint into the beacon, every human colony on Earth, Mars, Europa, even the fringe stations will receive it." Lena took a deep breath. "Then we save humanity." Solon turned to her, smiling. "You save humanity." But his smile didn't reach his eyes. As the ship dropped out of hyperspace, the blackness around them grew deeper. Ahead, the beacon came into view. It was tall, thin, and floating in open space, anchored to a rocky base by invisible grav links. Its surface glowed with soft blue lines, old, beautiful, still alive. Lena stared through the window. "It's like a lighthouse," Solon nodded. "Built to call out into the dark." They landed the ship on a flat docking platform near the base of the beacon. It was quiet, too quiet. No lights, no guards, no other ships. Lena stepped out with the sphere cradled in her arms. Solon walked beside her, his face unreadable. Inside, the beacon was colder than she expected. Metal walls stretched up high, and strange writing symbols from ancient human code glowed faintly on the floor. A lift waited for them, open and silent. As they stepped inside, the doors closed, and the lift began to rise. Lena looked at Solon. "This is almost the end, isn't it?" He nodded. "Yes, once the upload is complete, it's done." She smiled softly. "Then we really did it." But Solon didn't answer. The lift stopped at the top. A large room opened before them, filled with thin cables of light stretching from floor to ceiling. In the center stood a tall pillar with a clear slot made for the sphere. Lena walked forward and placed the sphere into the slot. The beacon lit up. A calm voice filled the chamber. "Signal detected. Begin sequence?" Lena glanced at Solon. "Ready?" He nodded once. "Begin." "Begin," Lena repeated. The pillar lit up with blinding light. The sphere floated slightly, turning slowly in midair. Data poured out of it, shapes, formulas, images, star maps, all spreading through the cables. But then, the light stopped. The room darkened. Lena stepped back. What happened? Before she could move again, she felt something cold press against her back. A weapon. She froze. "Solon?" She whispered. "I'm sorry," he said behind her, "but I have to stop this." She turned slowly, heart pounding. Solon stood there, holding a small energy pistol pointed at her. His face was filled with sadness, but not regret. "Why?" she whispered. "I thought you wanted to help." "I do," he said. But my full mission wasn't just to guide you. It was also to protect the timeline. And if you failed the tests, I was ordered to destroy the sphere. But I didn't fail, she said. I opened the vault. I remembered. Everything. Yes, Solon said. But you're still not complete. You're emotional, unpredictable. You might break the future instead of fixing it. Lena felt tears sting her eyes. You're afraid. I'm following orders. Solon said softly. That's what I was built to do. She shook her head. No, you're more than that. You said it yourself, you're part of me. My future self made you. She didn't want a machine, she wanted a partner. Solon's hand shook. The lights around the room began to blink again. Warning. Signal interruption detected. Lena took a step forward. Solon, please. We can finish this together. I don't know if I can trust you, he said, his voice full of pain. Then trust yourself, she replied. Because you're me. And I would never give up on hope. For a moment, the silence stretched long and heavy, then Solon lowered. The weapon, he turned back to the pillar. You're right. I was wrong to doubt you. Suddenly, a loud blast shook the chamber. The wall behind them exploded. A group of time agents rushed in. Weapons raised, shouting commands. Freeze! Step away from the beacon. Lena grabbed the sphere as it dropped from the pillar. She ran behind a console. Solon took position beside her. We can't fight them all, he said. We don't have to, she replied, holding the sphere tightly. We just need to finish the upload. She opened a hidden panel on the console and connected the sphere directly. The beacon's voice. Returned. Backup link detected. Uploading. Blasts flew over her head. Solon returned fire, forcing the agents to stay low. Lena watched the progress bar grow on the screen 10%, 30%, 55%. Then she saw an agent aiming directly at Solon. Solon! She screamed. The blast hit him in the side. He fell. No. She cried, crawling to him as the light continued to pulse. Solon looked at her, pain in his eyes. Keep going. But you, finish it, he whispered. The progress bar hit 100%. The beacon flashed, sending a wave of light through the cables. A deep sound echoed through the station, a signal broadcast. Like a pulse across space. The message had been sent. The blueprint to heal the stars was now in the hands of every human colony. The time agents paused. Their mission was over. They had failed to stop the upload. One by one, they lowered their weapons. Lena knelt beside Solon. He was breathing slowly. I'm here, she said, holding his hand. He smiled faintly. You did it. I didn't want to do it without you. But you could, he said. That's what makes you human. His body flickered. His eyes dimmed. Goodbye, Lena, he whispered. And then he was gone. Lena sat quietly for a long time in the quiet beacon room. The agents didn't speak. They left her alone. She looked out of the window into the dark space. Beyond, she had saved the future, but she had lost a part of herself to do it. And in that silence, she promised to carry on, not just for Solon, not just for the future, but for the little girl who once dreamed of the stars. Lena floated in the quiet space station, watching the gentle pulse of light that spread from the origin beacon across the stars. The message was sent. The future was no longer doomed. Humanity now held the power to heal the dying stars and rebuild the colonies. But inside her heart, Lena felt a strange emptiness. Solon was gone. The future version of herself, her guide, her protector. And now her sacrifice was no more. She touched the spot on her wrist where his data link had been. The small device was cold and silent. Yet somehow she still felt his presence, like a faint echo. Days passed on the station as Lena recovered and planned her next steps. The time agents who had once tried to stop her now observed quietly from a distance. They no longer saw her as an enemy, but as a part of a new future they could not yet understand. Lena walked through the corridors. Thinking about what had happened, she was no longer the scared barista who had agreed to a fake date for money. She was a leader, a survivor, a symbol of hope. Her thoughts drifted back to earth. The crowded streets, the coffee shop smells, the small dreams she once had. Would she ever return? Maybe, but for now, the stars called her. The origin beacon had awakened something deep inside her, a sense of purpose, a belief that no matter how dark the universe became, humanity's light could shine brighter. One afternoon, as Lena stood near a viewport looking out into the galaxy, a soft chime sounded on her wrist device. It was a message. She opened it carefully. The sender was unknown. The message read, "Lena Avers, your journey has only begun. There are others like you chosen by time to protect the future. Join us at the Stellar Council. Together, we will rebuild and defend humanity's legacy. Await further instructions." Lena's eyes widened. Others like her? She smiled. She was not alone. Lena knew that her path ahead would be full of challenges. There would be dangers, mysteries, and hard decisions. But she also knew one thing clearly. She would face it all not as a frightened girl, not as a stranger's shadow, but as herself, a woman who had saved the future. As the stars sparkled beyond the window, Lena whispered softly, "This is my story, and it is only the beginning."